recognize some of those tunes. The first one, the Flight from E.T., was the first movie music that I remember being exposed to. And I just remember the soaring sound of the flute, and it captured my attention. These are some of the defining tunes of the 20th century. Movie music became the new symphony, and we're going to talk about that era today, moving from romantic to the modern era. And the modern era can be defined beginning around the year 1910 is when we start to see this shift in ideas, and up until this point, okay? So that's a big stretch of time for this modern era, and a lot of things have expanded musically during this time. Music thought, we're going to go back to the early modern era in the early 1900s. We're talking World War I, World War II era. Music thought abandoned the reason and enlightenment and emotion of the Romantics, and it moved into an embracement of math ratios, atonal music, a rise of minimalism, serialism in music. And this sharp turn in musical thought began during World War I, and it continued beyond. This writing style is defined by the experimentalism of music. Some call it dissonance, a rage, completely cerebral, and a rejection of the Romantics, okay? There were some really significant defining pieces in the flute repertoire, and I'd like to just highlight those today. But I want to talk about some of those experimental extended techniques that really define the sound of the flute during this era. Now, some of the defining pieces that I'll share with you today, our beautiful Poulenc Sonata, the Prokofiev Sonata, Hindemith Sonata, the Density 21.5 by Varese. There's a beautiful piece, Copland's Duo for flute and piano, and a really fun jazz suite by Claude Bolling. Some of the innovations that were made during this time for flute techniques were extended techniques, and they were meant to give us more expression on the flute. And in the 20th century repertoire, it employs these extended techniques. They include the use of flutter tonguing. I'm going to try to demonstrate just a couple of those for you. When a flutist plays, we are using our airstream, but the tongue engages to give articulation. In this extended technique, a flutter tongue, it's engaged with the air to create this sound. And you can hear the fluttering along with that pitch. It's a pitched sound. There are other sounds we use with our air and using the keys on the flute to create more of a percussive sound. And this key click is used in Density 21.5. And I'll just demonstrate that from this piece. And you can hear the key click along with the sound from the mouthpiece. Okay, moving on, we get, not only that, we get other sounds, whistle tones, bending your pitch with our head joint. And that just involves the airstream bending higher or lower to give it a flat or more sharp sound. The key clicks are one, and we have the employment of extended notes on the flute. So we have notes that are kind of made up fingerings, and it goes up into our high range. And high D, the highest, the fourth octave D on the flute became a really popular note for composers to use. So there are a couple of different fingerings that you can use for that note to get the sound depending on the pattern. And I would say look at a fingering chart, and for the piece that you are playing to get the best sound and the best fingering pattern. The most common fingering is this, and it's used in Density 21.5 and Prokofiev Sonata, lots of high Ds in that piece. Here's that high D. And it's really a screeching high shrill note. So we don't want to sit on that note too long in your practice, but that's the employment of all those extended techniques. I want to play just a little bit of the Poulenc Sonata. That's one of my favorite sonatas. And it uses double tonguing, a double tonguing technique on the notes. So you can hear how percussive that is on that note. So many beautiful things come out of the modern era, and I know it's not necessarily some of the repertoire is challenging, it's dissonant to our ears, but there is beauty in this music. And I think that it gives us a glimpse into our human soul and our search, our longing. The palette of sounds that we can create now on the flute is so amazing, and it's extensive. And these innovations give the modern flute that ability to create those sounds. The expanding possibilities of our instrument and our repertoire, and whether you prefer any of the past centuries of flute music, I love music from all of these eras of music, or if you just enjoy the simple sound of folk music or hymns played on the flute, music is a powerful force in our lives. I hope that you have enjoyed this journey on the flute. I have another video that will be available on my YouTube page to wrap up and round out these couple of weeks and videos that I've made. I'd like to end with a simple hymn, one from the modern era, and it is a round, but I'm just going to play straight through. It's "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened unto you." Alleluia.